right now, right across our vast continent, an invasion is taking place.
They don't just drill a well. You know, they just don't frack it. They then clean the gas, and it'll be you that breathes it.
Unconventional gas extraction also involves venting, flaring, and wastewater evaporation, which release a wide range of hazardous air pollutants. And then, of course, there are the leaks.
Everything leaks in coal seam gas, can I tell you? Everything leaks. Wells leak, pipelines leak, compressor stations leak, the ground leaks from coal seam gas.
While the industry claims that using CSG will decrease greenhouse emissions, Australian-based researchers have measured elevated levels of methane and other gases in the atmosphere in a Queensland gas field. Methane is a powerful greenhouse gas with an average global warming potential 72 times greater than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period.
The concentration of methane in the atmosphere is consistently higher. The highest concentrations over 3 times the atmosphere background values.
And if you properly account for those fugitive emissions, you find that the carbon footprint for coal seam gas is no better than coal.
There's been a lot of reports on the stuff from overseas. They've seen the effects of it, and they still want to bring it here. They still want to do it.
But 15 years after the industry starts in the United States, the evidence is now starting to come through. Fracking contaminates groundwater. Fracking is a health hazard, and we need to heed the lessons which are coming out of a place like the US, where they frack the hell out of it now for 2 decades.
This is our house. We were still building it when they started drilling real close to us. Our neighbor's water's black, smells like diesel fuel. But the recommendations from our Center for Disease Control were don't drink the water, don't cook with the water, and if you bathe in it or wash dishes or wash laundry, open the windows of the house and ventilate it so your home doesn't explode from the methane that comes out. And there's water that lights on fire, and that's the most incredible, stupid thing to see water catch on fire, but it's happening.
People lost their domestic wells, their livestock wells, their artesian wells.
We've had lots of instances in the United States where it's contaminated water. But what they do is they run the people down until they're absolutely so desperate. They're out of money, they're out of options, their health is impacted, and they come in and offer to buy them out. But the stipulation of being bought out is to sign a confidentiality agreement, giving up your right to talk about that for the rest of your life. And that evidence is all locked away then by the gas company.
We did have artesian wells. They've quit and will never come back.
Communities living near gas fields in the United States have reported a range of health effects since the gas companies moved in. These conditions include serious respiratory ailments, nose, throat, and eye irritations, and neurological illnesses.
I think the thing that probably disturbs me the most are our children seem to be the most susceptible to this. Kids with nosebleeds, kids with kidney failure. My youngest son started having seizures and has spent the last 12 years of his life on anti-seizure medication. And there's women who have neuropathy where their arms and their legs go numb.
Ryan Pop got really sick last time he opened up the boil. It was really one of the worst colds he has ever had.
Residents living adjacent to CSG activities around Tara in Queensland are now also reporting a range of similar symptoms, with particular concern over the neurological impacts on children.
Our second youngest grandson has started to take seizures, and I don't know if they're a chemical poisoning from what they do in gas fields.
We've got children that have metallic tastes come up in your mouth. So with that, it's not just that you've got this tinny taste in your mouth. You can't eat. You get to the point where you start to throw up because it is just so intense, this horrible taste in your mouth. Then we've got the constant headaches. then you've got the nosebleeds. And I'm not talking about a nosebleed, I'm talking about nosebleeds that last for 3-4 days in a row non-stop. Then we've got little Noah, he has, we don't know what it is, he'll run around, all of a sudden his arms will just go limp. That's it, there's no movement left in him. And this can last anything from 2 minutes to 20 minutes at a time. So we've taken him down to neurosurgeons in Brisbane that have assured us it's not any kind of medical condition that he has. They don't know why he's doing this.
When is it going to be enough to get something done? What, do they have to start dying? Is that what it's going to come down to?
Despite these reports, governments are still refusing to implement health impact studies, and the industry still claims that their operations are safe.
To suggest that it's absolutely safe is quite ridiculous, because nobody can guarantee 100% certainty. The only way you can guarantee that is to not do it.
They just don't want to know about it, they just want to go full steam ahead, get this gas out, get it overseas, and that's that. And at what cost? That doesn't seem to matter.
The stupid thing about the whole process, once the government's approved it, it's a law. It's the law now. And if you're trying to try and stop them, you have to prove that what they're doing is harmful. They don't have to prove that it isn't, because they've already been approved. And so it's just a sweetheart deal with no community input and no recourse.
They've also bought the political system in the United States. And it seems to me, from what I've seen here, it looks pretty damn similar to what happens in our country. The politicians are looking at it for money. And a lot of these politicians, when they stop being elected by the people, are going to go to work for industry. It's a giant good old boys club, is what we call it in the States. And they stack the deck in their favor, and unless the people stand up and raise hell with them, they'll just run over the top of you because they've got it bought.